Before he was the greatest, he was just a kid from Louisville who refused to be told who he couldn't be. When Cassius was 12, a pivotal moment would reshape his destiny. His brand new Schwinn bicycle, a prized possession, was stolen at the Louisville Fair. Furious and frustrated, young Cassius reported the theft to Joe Martin, a white police officer who also ran a boxing gym. Instead of dismissing the angry young boy, Martin saw something different. "You better learn how to fight before you start making threats," he told Cassius. But it wasn't a rebuke, it was an invitation. Martin invited Clay to his gym, introducing him to boxing as a disciplined response to anger. This chance encounter would become the crucible of a legend. The stolen bike wasn't a loss, it was a gateway to transformation. Louisville in the 1950s was a city divided. Segregation wasn't just a word, it was the architecture of everyday life. Streets, schools, dreams, all were drawn with invisible but impenetrable lines. But Cassius Clay was about to prove that some lines were meant to be crossed. The streets of Louisville whispered stories of resilience. For young Cassius Clay, boxing would become more than a sport. It would be a language of resistance, a path to redefine possibility. In 1961, at 19, his magnetic personality was already challenging the boundaries of what a black athlete could be. During a bout preparation in Las Vegas, Clay received a telegram that would become a defining moment of unexpected solidarity. Martin Luther King Jr. wrote personally to the young boxer, recognizing something extraordinary beyond Clay's physical skills. "Your youthful good humor, physical prowess, and flippant charm have made you an idol to many American young people," King wrote, offering both encouragement and spiritual protection. It was a bridge between the boxing ring and the civil rights movement, two arenas where battles for dignity and respect were being fought with different weapons, but toward the same goal. Clay's boxing style was emerging as something revolutionary. He moved differently, light on his feet, dancing around traditional boxing techniques. His footwork was a metaphor, always moving, never pinned down, refusing to be confined by expectations. The young boxer was learning that his greatest battles would be fought not just with fists, but with words, with presence, with an unbreakable spirit that refused to be silenced. The Olympic gold medal hung around his neck in 1960, a symbol of personal triumph and a challenge to a nation's deeply entrenched racial barriers. But Clay understood medals were megaphones for messages unspoken. When Clay faced Sonny Liston in 1964, he was challenging an entire system that demanded black athletes be seen, not heard. "I am the greatest," he proclaimed, a declaration that was part prediction, part revolution, a manifesto of self-determination. Days after defeating Liston, Clay announced his alignment with the Nation of Islam. He would soon become Muhammad Ali, a name that would echo far beyond boxing rings, a name of spiritual transformation and political resistance. When draft notices arrived, Ali's response was unequivocal. "I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong," he declared. His refusal to be drafted wasn't just personal, it was a moral stance that would cost him everything: his title, his career, his prime fighting years. The Supreme Court would eventually vindicate Ali in 1971, but the years between were a crucible. Stripped of his championship, banned from boxing, Ali became a symbol of principled resistance. His speeches were poetry. His protests were performances. The draft became Ali's ultimate moral challenge. While many young men of his generation prepared for military service, he saw the war through a lens of social justice. His refusal was a principled stand against a system that seemed to value some lives less than others. The military's response was swift. They stripped him of his heavyweight title and boxing license, effectively ending his career at its peak. Yet Ali remained resolute, willing to sacrifice everything for his beliefs. While the legal battles raged, Ali's spirit remained unbroken. He transformed his enforced boxing hiatus into a period of profound personal growth, speaking at colleges and universities across the country. It was a landmark victory that restored his boxing license and his place in American society. The boxing world watched in anticipation as Ali prepared to reclaim his heavyweight title. His return fight against Jerry Quarry in October 1970 was a national moment of redemption. Ali stepped into the ring as a symbol of resistance and resilience. In his later years, as Parkinson's disease gradually silenced his legendary voice, Ali's impact only grew louder. The man who once spoke with lightning now communicated through quiet dignity. His trembling hands lit the Olympic torch in 1996, a moment that transcended sport, a symbol of endurance. Muhammad Ali died on June 3, 2016. He was a boxer, an activist, and a bridge between what was and what could be. In a world that tried to silence him, he became the most powerful voice of his generation. The streets of Louisville that once confined him now celebrate him. The world that once rejected him now remembers him. Muhammad Ali, undefeated, unsilenced, unforgettable. Want more incredible stories that teach English and inspire? Subscribe to Good English Now and watch our next video.